Carolina Insider is presented by Wells Fargo, official sponsor of Carolina Athletics.
Welcome back to the show. Thanks for joining us today. Of course, one of the big questions for Carolina football coming into this season was who was going to replace Omarion Hampton. More than 1,600 yards for the All-America a season ago, now with the Los Angeles Chargers. One person's probably not going to replace Omarion this year, but one of the gentlemen who will be within the group trying to replace that production is freshman Damon June from Jacksonville, North Carolina. Damon coming off 150 yards against Richmond last week, just under that, 148. In fact, the most for a Carolina freshman since Michael Carter had 157 against Virginia in 2017. Damon sat down in our podcast studio with Adam Lucas and me earlier in the week. What's this been like, man, to go from somebody who maybe wasn't expecting to play a ton this year to all of a sudden you're out there rushing for 148 yards and a touchdown?
It feels good. You know, you start to feel like all the hard work and stuff pay off.
Yeah.
You know, you can't get too high-headed and you can't really feed into what everybody's saying around you. You just got to continue to come in every day and keep on working. But it definitely does feel good.
So, the coaches have talked some about, hey, this was a guy who at the beginning at Trinity, he wasn't getting a ton of reps, but he kept working, and now he's kind of earned this spot. So when you were in a position where maybe you weren't getting a ton of reps, what was it that was then keeping you going to know that, hey, I want to keep doing this so I get an opportunity?
Just competing every day with the guys. When you have like a good group of guys in the room, it just makes it fun to come in every day and try to battle for that spot. So when game day rolls around and coach calls your name, you just prepared to go out. You know, it's no drop off in the production. Like everybody wants to compete, and so they're going to practice like they're going to be the starter for that week.
We have a listener who has been desperate for you to come in here for like a month.
Yeah.
She's an 8-year-old named June. She really wants to buy a June jersey.
Yes.
She wants to know why you switched your number from 12 to 35.
Just, doing what was best for the team as far as like special teams having to split numbers with another guy. One of the guys, you just don't want to put the team in a bad position and cause a flag on an unnecessary play. So I just took the role and switched the number.
And by the way, that's official as of this week, because there was still some confusion where Damon was still listed as 12 on the roster, but obviously we've seen him running for touchdowns. We're in 35, but became official this week. 30. You like 35? You okay with it?
I'm okay with it.
I don't think I feel like you can break more tackles in 35.
Yeah.
You do look strong in 35.
Just doing what's best for the team, If that's what looks good, that's what looks good. I ain't complaining.
So I know this has not been in total the level of consistency that the offense has wanted at the start of the season, but starting to see some signs here. What have you guys been working on? What needs to start happening in your mind more consistently to have some better production in total?
Just, continue to learn each other, build that team connection to where we don't have to think about the plays and relying on each other and stuff. It just comes all natural. But I feel like as time goes on and we just continue to practice and get good quality reps, it'll all gel together sooner than later.
We've asked a couple guys this, and I've asked the coaches this. It was an enormous amount of new players that joined this team from when you came in even from when you came in January till the beginning of camp. How long, or what is that process like, I guess, to try and get to know each other a little bit better? And do you feel like you guys are getting there?
Yeah. When I did come in January around like the first group of guys that was here, we got close kind of quickly, but some things didn't work out for some guys and stuff. So when the new group of guys came in, I feel like that was just a whole nother, reset for the team, but something that was probably needed. So now, as we're going into game 4 and stuff, we kind of just are learning how each other plays and stuff and getting more comfortable playing with each other on the field. But it just feels good. Like when you go out there and practice and you see what other guys are doing, you be able to feed off that energy. And if one guy's playing at a high level, it's going to encourage you to try to play at a high level. So I kind of think that's what we have going on right now. Just a lot of guys feeding off other guys, wanting to increase their role on the team and stuff.
As a new guy, in what ways did you feel like it was advantageous for you that almost everybody was new in January when you got here? A lot of people starting over when you arrived.
Kind of feels like everybody's on the same level. New staff, new team. Everybody just, has to find their reason to, keep going and stuff, find their way to fit in and stuff. But you don't really think that anybody has, well, at least for me, I didn't really feel like anybody had the advantage over me, being that it was new staff and everybody's starting at a clean slate where it doesn't really nobody would know what's going on. But that's just kind of how it went.
So when you committed, Coach Brown was still the head coach. Why did you elect to stay with Carolina? Why was it something that you still wanted to do, even with a big transition?
When it was announced that Coach Belichick came in, I mean, who wouldn't want to play for the greatest coach? But, at the same time, born and raised in North Carolina, you just want to stay close to home. So when you do get the opportunities to, produce for the team or play, you just have even bigger why behind you.